help me with something here, Parker. I don't know if you saw the same, social media commentary and memes that I saw, but there are a lot of angry people about Logano winning. Like Mickey Mouse, I think, was the trend. Mm-hmm. People calling him Mickey Mouse. Either him, Mickey Mouse wins, or just the playoff system, Mickey Mouse. I don't see that. I don't get it.
I think it's just the idea that this format obviously rewards just winning. Like, consistency isn't going to give you, isn't going to hand you everything.
Enough.
It's not enough. Chase Elliott was probably the most consistent team through the regular season and the first bits of the playoffs, and they are now probably in a must-win position, 53 points out post-Vegas. Because
but what has he done in the last 6 weeks?
Well, no, but that's the point. It just rewards winning. Like, we've gone down this, we've said this, and so I think for some of the fans are like, oh, well, it's not deserving to be there and that sort of stuff. It's like, but on the day that they had to win, they won. So that is the format. And
right. And I don't understand how that's Mickey Mouse. Like,
I don't either. I don't get it.
And maybe this is just I think we had this conversation actually already, where it's a cultural thing with our sport, right? For so many decades, we were used to seeing the champion be the person that was consistent over the course of 38 weeks, right? And then in the last 2 decades, that changed. But and then even the most in the last decade. But like in the NFL, you can go undefeated and then lose the first game of the playoffs, and nobody is saying, well, they should still get a chance of being in the Super Bowl because of what they did in week 1 through 8.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And so I don't know. I like this format because I think it just shows how important it is to peak at the right time.
I agree. And I think it's the nature of NASCAR racing in 2024 is you just have to find a way to perform when it matters. And everything else you do can be made moot, can be erased with one great decision on one day. And that is what they did.
And my point on that is that can be multiple times throughout the year, right? That doesn't just mean like, okay, well, you only have to be good in the playoffs and that's all that matters. No. I think you have to be good early in the season, right? You have to establish a good base. You have to know what you have, right? On cars, equipment, you need to know where you need to be, and you have to put up some performance. And then, you're going to go, you and your team are going to go through cycles throughout the season where you're going to try things, you're going to develop on things, and you're preparing for the playoffs, and then you have to peak again for the playoffs. So, for anybody listening that is in that sort of Mickey Mouse camp of thinking, this is my sort of nuanced approach to it. It's like, no, I think it's actually provided a really interesting strategy for how a team and a crew chief would, like Cliff Daniels, would approach, or Paul Wolf would approach a season. Right, and understanding that they're cycling their focus of their team throughout the season, that you can't just be at 110% for 38 weeks. So you have to sort of be smart about when to be on it, when to be developing, and then when to be back on it for the playoffs.
And Team Penske is known for this. When they got all 3 of their cars in the playoffs by midsummer, I can promise you, they switched to figuring out how we best in the playoffs because they've done this in the past. And we've seen it before, and they showed up to Kansas, and they were way faster there than they had ever been in a mile and a half this season. And they were really competitive for most of that race.
I like that. I think it's interesting.
Hold on. If I want to play devil's advocate, I do have some stats for the haters out there. Here you go. Joe Logano only has 6 top 5 finishes in 2024. 3 of the 6 are wins, with 2 of the 3 coming in the 2024 playoffs. Joe Logano has also led an average of only 8 laps in his 3 wins this year, the fewest laps led per win ever in series history among drivers with at least 2 wins in a season. So, does that not... So, you can look at this 2 ways. For the haters, like, they've found, the Nashville win with fuel mileage, then this win with fuel mileage, if you want to say, like, so on and so forth. Oh, they've lucked themselves in this, whatever. But if you want to go the other route, it's they were good enough to be in that position, then smart enough to take advantage of the opportunity at hand, maybe without the fastest car. So in some respects, could you not say, hey, this is actually pretty amazing that they've found ways to get here, not probably being the most dominant cars of the year?
Yes, 100%. I agree with that. Like, that's it for me. Like, it's and here's why. And here's why it's so obvious to me. It's just like there's no Mickey Mouse winners in the Cup Series. None. Zero.
No.
So I don't,
Very rarely.
you know, you can maybe argue that there's a range and a spectrum of rain out, you know, type things, you know, rain out victories versus whatever. Fine, right? You can pick somebody's going to listen to this and just be like, well, what about Justin Haley at Daytona, blah, 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 or Chris Buescher, you know, whatever. There's no Mickey Mouse wins in the Cup Series. And there sure as hell aren't multiple Mickey Mouse wins in the same season in the Cup Series. So I don't care how many laps Joey Logano has led, right? Like, Paul Wolf is one of the brightest minds on a pit box, on pit road on Sundays, period. And so every win is deserved and earned, in my opinion. And that's, so for me, it's like this format, and I don't know. I think I like our playoff format. And I like this stuff, and I don't think I think it's strategic. I think it's smart. I think it's allows for the drivers and teams and crew chiefs and engineers to be cyclical about their training and preparation and where they invest their time and resources. And at the end of the day, we had an unexpected winner on Sunday. What more could you ask for? Right?
Yep. I just find the playoffs to be unique to NASCAR in the motorsports world. Now, I do know, we talked about last week, there are other, Supercars in Australia is now adopting something similar. There are other series looking at it. If I want to go watch, a over the season battle of of most points, I'll go watch F1, right? And we'll talk about that later in this show. But NASCAR is this unique thing where it's like, that what we've known for decades prior is just not the way it's done. It's about the idea of randomness and finding performance at the opportune time, and it's just, I guess I can see if you watched it forever and you felt like that's just what you wanted to keep watching, and you fell in love with that style, the old-fashioned style, then that's fine. But if you're turning this on now, you have to kind of be like, that's kind of cool. Like, why not? Like, what this is. It provides storylines. It provides different winners and different reasons for them to be incentivized to win, and it creates a different championship outcome. So I don't have a problem with it. I think it is a testament to the 22 team, and as you said it, Paul Wolf, he is now the winningest current active crew chief in the Cup Series at 41 wins. So more credit to what he's done.